So I'm a little bit confused about what's going on
Breaking
with
news,
this.
Trump said the United States will take over the Gaza Strip. On Tuesday night, Trump said, quote, "We'll own it," when discussing the future of Gaza and suggested the United States could dispose of active bombs still in the area, quote, "level the site," and, quote, "create an economic development that would supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area," end quote.
So I'm a bit confused about that because the Gaza Strip is a bomb site now, and um, building up houses is going to be very expensive. Do the people in Gaza have the money to buy up the houses once they've been made? I'm I don't know. I'm kind of confused about this because yes, Donald Trump was going on about the whole America First thing. So what's with this whole buying up Gaza, um, which is obviously very cheap now. But do you really want a country in the Middle East that's occupied by Hamas and Palestinians and people who probably hate or don't favor, who don't like the Americans because they might partly blame the Americans for Israel being able to afford bombs. So yeah, I don't know what's the plan or what's he doing in that section, but yeah, what the hell's going on? And I'm also hearing weird things about him wanting to buy Greenland. Like, I really hope the point of buying Greenland is not just so that he can dig up loads of land in hopes of finding oil, in hopes of burning lots of fuel, in hopes of heating up the planet, in hopes of causing lots more hurricanes and more disasters to destroy houses in America. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty hoping that's not the plan. I have no idea what the goal is. I mean, technically, I would love for the goal to just be to focus on some sort of one world government that's kind of like um, that's that's just focused on what's it finding out who's on my side, who believes that I'm Christ, who doesn't just mock me, or who doesn't just say that, oh, I can't be God. God knows this, God knows that. And yeah, I don't know. Someone told me today that I can't be God because um, evolution is all formed in the same way, and you didn't know that, so you can't be God. If it's all formed in the same way, then why are elephants and giraffes so different? I mean, obviously, there was something that made them different. So they weren't really formed in the same way because surely they would have the same outcome. They were formed with time. I mean, if that's what you're saying, I mean, but why would you think that I don't know that? I have no idea what his explanation for why I can't be God was. It didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I really need to stop trying to talk to people on Facebook because I feel like I'm giving some really long, insightful things that okay, don't necessarily prove that I'm God because there's a lot of things that I need to say and I just can't say it all. But yeah, their excuse, their ability to believe is just not there, and it's like they're just not human or something, or they're not the same species as me because the same species as me actually listens to people to what they say and don't just say. You can't be God because you didn't know that evolution doesn't is all the same. All caused by the same thing. But what's that? You didn't even say what it is. I have no idea. But yeah, what's this going on with Trump trying to buy up different lands? I don't know. I mean, him wanting to buy up Greenland could be symbolic because Greenland can just be any land that has Greenland on it, e.g., not ice, not ice, well, where all the ice is. But yeah, any Greenland should belong to. I would love to have a world where I get rid of humans and only allow sprites, and then I can form the new planet, which is just going to be sprites. And on this sprite land, I will teach people not to just lie about shit, not to just start talking about, oh, you didn't, how do hybrids form? Well, you didn't know that aliens exist on Earth, and because of that, you can't be God. Yeah, well, God, they don't exist on Earth. What do you? I have no idea. There's some people that just have all sorts of beliefs, and they just say all sorts of shit, and they don't seem to realize that whatever shit they're listening to that makes them believe this, they're obviously, some of these people are probably just being paid to talk shit, just to make, it's kind of fun. I like watching the UFO videos because it's a sense of excitement. It's a sense of like something different's about to happen. There's something that we don't know, and it's all about going to be exposed. I like that. And if I was a filmmaker and I was making money just making videos, okay, that I know are all lies and stuff, but just giving that hype, that excitement of there being something else here, and it's the world changing, and even though it's all fake, that's, I loved the American movies when I was growing up because they made the world seem like such a nice place, and because I was trapped in a boarding school throughout a lot of that, and I didn't really leave the house much because I don't ever have a job, and I'm just in the house watching TV all day, because of this. It was always like the world is a much nicer place than I realized. I just haven't really been able to get a foot in it. That's kind of how I've lived my whole life until I realized that I was God, and then I started being like, shit, people think they're doing things in my will. This isn't the world that I want. These aren't the people that I want. And then the more I started learning about people, I wasn't judgmental towards people before I knew I was God, because I was just like, well, this is just life and what there is, and it was only when I started being like, okay, I'm God, I made these people, and then I'm just like, what the fuck have I made? Like, these are horrible people, and then they do everything wrong, and then they don't know what they're doing most of the time, but they all love to promote that they do know exactly what they're talking about. It's you who doesn't know what they're talking about. You're the fool. You're the fool for calling yourself God. I'm not the fool for talking to God and saying that she's not God when she really is God. I'm not the fool who can't see the truth. No, you're the truth for saying something that's not the truth. And yeah, some of those comments that they wrote were just, yo, girl, you need to stop promoting shit. No, you go, you need to stop promoting shit and talking like you can't talk properly. I don't know. I don't know if she had that accent, but she was using all sorts of y'all's kind of words. But anyway, I don't know what Trump is doing. But yeah, I favor the one world government buying up all the green land. Yeah, and the desert lands don't really count as Greenland because they're not green. They're technically yellowish, sandy color. So yeah, maybe that I would love that. That would be a good. All the Greenland belongs to the sprites, and all the humans are either workers of the sprites, or that's just me. That's just me getting into Fantasyland. But yeah. I have no idea what America would do with Gaza, because it's going to take a lot of money to get that place looking good again. I don't know. All I want is for people to talk to me, and for some sort of test to be given to the world where there's a small group of people that say, I'm God, or maybe I'm just Christ. They can argue amongst each other over what I am. Dala, Christ, the robot. I don't know. I did like that film yesterday. It was sick, very sick, but I don't know. There are worse films, but yeah, it was kind of interesting because you're constantly not knowing what's right and what's wrong. Because I don't want to say too much, but that film, which was, what's it called? The Companion or something? What's it called? The Companion. That's quite a good film. The girl who looks like Grimes. She looks a lot like Grimes. But yeah. What's going on with the? Let's see if I can ask the voice of my head. Voice of my head. Why is there talk about America buying up Gaza? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the point is that America wants to buy up Gaza to give it to Israel. That's I don't know. That's, my land isn't a tiny little place in the Middle East. My land is the whole world, and I want the whole world to be full of people who believe that I'm God. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in the Middle East. I don't want to take sides. I don't like the clothing of the Islamic people, but then I think the some of those Jewish traditional clothing and weird hairstyles and they're very much black and white kind of wearing clothes as well. Like, it's not just black and just white, but it's very. I prefer color. I prefer color and just vibrance and just lots of different styles. And I like these actually because they're very, very soft. But yeah, I like modern clothing. Um, but why is I don't know what was going on with the tariffs with Canada. That just seems a bit crazy because I thought America and Canada are very similar, but I do think that America has more evil people in it. I think I I've never been to Canada other than the journey back from America. We stopped in Canada for like 3 hours, um, and yeah, my I think Canada for me it felt kind of like halfway in between America and England. So it was like half. It had like a sort of English politeness to it. That's my vibe from how I felt about Canada. But then it also had the sort of American type of thing. There was a type of American thinking. It was kind of like half and half. But yeah, um, I don't know. I do like Canada. I think I wouldn't live there because it's just way too cold in the winter. England's about the coldest that I could cope with, and even that, I'm just like so depressed throughout the whole of January. It's now February though, so I'm feeling a little bit better. But um, what's the point of I hate the idea of people spending their tax money on other countries. I don't think that's right. I think if tax money should be helped, should be, the whole point of tax money should be to help build up the community. And okay, right now there is a problem which is overpopulation, and there is an extreme need for war, not to destroy houses, but just to reduce the number of people. A few hundred years ago, people weren't using plastics. People weren't driving around in cars. People weren't just filling up lots and lots of trash. A few hundred years ago, people had lots of babies were dying. You didn't have good medicine, so a lot of people were dying, and this made the population low. And well, now that you've come up with loads of solutions to solve illnesses and to stop people from dying and to stop or reduce the number of deaths as a baby, and now that you've found so many ways to stop people from dying, there is a problem, which is that overpopulation is going to get massiver and bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is going to cause loads of problems. So because of this, you do need to fund war, to try and make up for all the people that you're saving. You've got all these diseases. Polio and stuff is a very good one because that's not just killing people, that's actually making people paralyzed and suffer. So there's some good diseases that you really need to solve, but what you haven't realized is that deaths need to happen because it keeps the numbers down, and when deaths don't happen, numbers don't stay low. And if people are going to be using plastic and even just washing machines or fridges, and if you're going to stop people from allowing themselves to have assisted suicide, then there needs to be some, it is bad, there needs to be some way of um of of keeping the numbers low, and war is that. So I don't want to fund wars, but yeah, the idea that America is just going to give trillions of pounds to help rebuild lots of houses, to what, just give it away to the Islamic communities? I mean, what's what's the point? What's the point in that? I don't know what they're doing.